for we're gonna try to keep it real quick. Rap City or 106 in Park? Which show was better?
Uh, I have to say, look, 106 in Park was the great yin to the TRL's yang because that was you hear all the stories about 106 in Park, but to me, honestly, that was just BET's counter to TRL, which was great. I loved it. I got a chance. I mean, not to mention the fashion, man. I got a chance to see a lot of great fashion on 106 in Park. But Rap City, to see, look, to see Tigger and those guys in the booth and freestyling like they were free. I mean, I never forget, man, the most memorable freestyle I ever seen, man, when I saw the greatest of all time, Uncle LL Cool J, go in on the Way I Am beat, on Eminem's beat, The Way I Am. And he went harder on that freestyle than anybody I ever seen. I mean, I never forget when 8 Ball and MJG, they came up and they did their freestyle. Not to mention one of the forgotten groups, I never forget DMX and the Bloodline, and the Bloodline. They did a freestyle for the age. He did a whole freestyle with that entire group on there on the grimy beat with Nori, man. So I gotta say, Rap City. I know that 106 in Park was the better mainstream hit, but Rap City, man, for those 2 hours right after school, you get right. I mean, coming right from school to go to Rap City to see your favorite. Before the Breakfast Club, you had to watch Rap City in order to see your favorite artist freestyle, man. And that was something special because I didn't have to go on YouTube in order to see it. I got right out of school or at work at 4 o'clock, and I got right in front of my TV just in time in order to see it. And the fact that 106 Park came up right behind it, that was something special, man. And look, what a time to be alive, man. I mean, they need to have a Rap City reunion because if you ask me, Yo MTV Raps set the tone. Yo MTV Rap set the tone, but Rap City took it to a whole nother level, man. And there was no better catalyst on that show than Big Tigger. He had charisma. He was fashionable. I can't tell you how many outfits I copied from Big Tigger. Granted, I didn't fit the whole mold of what he did, but I copied a lot of his stuff. But and the fact that the thing is, he could rap with the best of them. He could rap with the best of them. I'm surprised he never came out with an album himself because he wasn't one of these guys just claiming to be a rapper.
No, he was.
He could actually freestyle and bring these guys in very, very smoothly and let them transition, man. So Big Tigger, was good, man. But hey, but if I got to pick one thing between those two, Rap City was definitely better. But I enjoyed watching Free on 106 in Park. I will say that.
BRF.
Man, let me tell you something. Those were the good old days. You get up in the morning. Cause this was my routine when I was going to school. I get up in the morning, I get dressed, I go downstairs. We had the big giant, the big giant old school TVs back in the day. It would be Sports Center in the morning before I go to school, and then you get on the bus and you talk with your friends and whatnot about the games and stuff. So it's Sports Center in the morning, and then when you get off, you go home. Rap City, 106 Park. It just never failed. The better show for me, even though my favorite segment out of either show I felt like was like those freestyles on Rap City, because I mean you have like I've seen like DMX, Dipset, Luda, so many like really really good freestyles. But for me, 106 Park was the better show for me because it was like I enjoyed it because like when I was little growing up, it was like you always wanted to guess like what the countdown was gonna be, how it was gonna go, which song was gonna get number one. You always try to guess it, and then like when they would do, man, let me tell you something. Freestyle Friday on 106 and Park, and seeing one of my like, let me tell you something. Getting to witness like the birth of Blind Fury because of
Yes.
because of those freestyle Friday battles was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. This dude just destroying like everybody in his path with freestyle. That was like one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And just like I feel like that show was like, yeah, I mean Champ really said it perfectly. Like like the yin to the TRL's yang, like 106 in Park was like for us, it was like the culture, like it was us. And just like everything, like back in those days, like with the the fashion, like just everything, like the music, just everything it represented, everything that it represented for us growing up, being that generation growing up, getting to witness that. It's just something that should never be taken for granted, and really just kind of started almost like maybe not. I won't necessarily say a revolution, but definitely an evolution as far as our culture. So 106 apart for me was the better show because I felt like there was more. They both had cultural impact, but I feel like 106 in Park had more on top of that with the careers it basically jump started. Whether it was Sierra, whether it was Bow Wow, whether it was Nelly,
Chris
whether
Brown.
I mean, whether it was Chris Brown, just 106 in Park just jump started so many people from those first interviews to ultimately what a lot of those artists ended up becoming. So I feel like 106 in Park was the better show and also was the more impactful show as far as what it did for so many artists. So many artists. So I feel like it's 106 in Park for me being a better show.
Man, let me tell you something. Y'all talk about the good days. Y'all, I'm in Haiti because I was living in Haiti at the time when 106 in Park and all that was coming on. There was nothing better than getting up, waking up, having good breakfast, watching some ESPN to BRS point, and then right after you get home from right after school, you go straight to home. You go straight home, and then the first thing you do, you turn on the TV and you put on Rap City, and then afterwards you go on 106 in Park. I love 106 in Park a little bit more because of the fashion and also the host. You had AJ and Free, and then you also had Roski and Terrence. I mean, look at and Bow Wow too. I mean, when Bow Wow came in, everyone was so excited to watch like either a little Bow Wow video or him performing, and then setting the stage for other great artists too. Like, I mean, whether it was Ashanti, Ja Rule, Chris Brown, 50 Cent, so many others, fashion, the style, and oh man, 106 in Park. Even at times when they hosted spring break, to Champ's point, they were the yin to TRL, man. And the only reason why I like TRL, not just because of MTV, because Lala, Lala was hosting TRL at the time. But 106 in Park, man, the fashion, the style. I mean, the days of being a good kid and to see the dudes. One thing I loved about Rap City and 106 in Park, I love seeing them throwback jerseys. Seeing the dudes wearing the big throwback jerseys with the do rags and all that other stuff, that was the stuff, man. But my brothers and I, if there was one thing we all had in common, we come straight home from school, we turned on BET, we watched 106 in Park and Rap City. Ain't nothing better, and we still talk about this to this day, man. So big shout outs to the BET, man, and the BET awards back in them days, though the early 2000s. Those were legit.
Yeah,
And my favorite one was James Brown with Michael Jackson.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.